Hi everybody, I'm Serge Kilembi. Welcome to my new vlog and my podcast, Time to Trade the Cryptos, the midweek report with me, Serge Kilembi. As you already know, I'm doing this for the midweek report on trading and especially on cryptocurrencies and all the news related to the blockchain technology. You also know that you can follow me on the end of the week on the Sundays or maybe Monday before the market opening for time to trade the market the week ahead. Okay, so now in this particular vlog we're gonna focus, as I said earlier, only on the crypto space. So first of all, we're gonna have a look at some articles and we're gonna see what are those headlines and major news regarding cryptos and especially the Bitcoin. And so we're going to have a look at them. We're going to see what we can take away, what we can take home, and what can impact our trading in the crypto space. Okay, mainly with Bitcoin and all the altcoins. And also in the second segment, we're gonna do some technical analysis and price action on Bitcoin versus the US dollar, on the ETF GBTC, on Bitcoin Cash versus the US dollar, and now we have Bitcoin Gold versus the US dollar. So, and next we're gonna have a look at Ethereum versus the US dollar, then Dash versus the US dollar, Litecoin versus the US dollar, IOTA versus the US dollar, and Ripple versus the US dollar. And at the end of the broadcast, I'm gonna be promoting my services. Okay, so let's dive right into it and let's begin over here. First, we're gonna have a look at some major news. And in between of the major news and the technical analysis, we're gonna have a look at the top ranking and some type of statistics, regarding the cryptocurrency. So first, let's have a look at the first article. So in order to not be boring, to maintain your focus and your attention, I'm just gonna mention the headline and then maybe underline some quotations and some stuff like that, and then we're gonna move on to the next article. But remember, you're gonna have all the links in the video description box right below. Okay, so let's go. Okay, first article by CryptoCoins News. Here you see a price prediction. You see everybody's talking about, yeah, the cryptocurrencies are rising, Bitcoin price rising, stuff like that. When you are trading, you know that we're gonna have, we need some perspective, some projections, some future projections. So over here, what do we have? We have a 25,000 US dollar Bitcoin price prediction is conservative, Wall Street Strategy said. Okay, so let's have a look over here and let's read it. Okay, read here the first part over here. FinTech's global advisor co-founder Tom Lee turned heads when he first predicted that the Bitcoin price could reach 25,000 US dollar by 2022, but he has maintained this bullish stance even amid the severe downturn that immediately followed China's ban on initial coin offerings and Bitcoin exchanges. Okay, so now let's quote him and let's see what he is talking about. Okay, number one, and I quote, as so, if you build a very simple model valuing Bitcoin as the square function number of users times the average transaction value, 94% of the Bitcoin moved over the past 4 years is explained by that equation. And of course, he explains. Okay, and another quotation over here. And if personal information is our gold, Bitcoin is our digital gold. So we think that the gold market, which is 9 trillion US dollar, and for a generation of investors, gold was their store of value. I think this next generation of young people view Bitcoin as their store of value. End of quote. Okay, so that's it. And another quote over here. Let's read it. You could easily get to 1,000 US dollar and 200,000 US dollar numbers. End of quote. He adds, stating elsewhere that I think you can easily see a liquidity-based move in Bitcoin that's much beyond our target prices. and of course if institutional investors enter the crypto markets. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there, and that's it. So Bitcoin could reach the 25,000 US dollar. That's a Wall Street analyst prediction. Okay, so now let's move on and let's see over here. We have another article, and now we are getting this one from news.bitcoin.com. And now also regarding the trading space, now what do we have? We have algorithmic trading platform Quant Connect extends reach to cryptocurrencies. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. So let's read a little bit more of that. The GDEX exchange, owned and operated by the firm Coinbase, has just announced integration with the popular algorithmic trading platform Quant Connect. Now, cryptocurrency traders can utilize Quant Connect's trading algorithm interface to execute a swath of exchange strategies. So let's read a little bit more. We're going to just focus on that first part over here in order not to be that long, and to move on quickly to another article. So here, identify, backtest, and research new quants with GDEX and Quant Connect. Algorithmic trading has been used within trading exchanges since the 70s by using computers to follow the flow of financial markets. The method allows the execution of orders that are automated and pre-programmed to adjust with price variables, time, and trade volumes. Algorithmic trading is used by cryptocurrency traders already, as there is a slew of companies that offer automated services and open source trading bots. The New York Times-based firm Quant Connect has been a well-known algorithmic trading service since being founded in 2011 by the entrepreneur Jared Broad. So I'm going to quote, through an integration with GDEX, Quant Connect's technology has been extended to include cryptocurrency assets, explains the firm announcement. And here we're going to quote them. So let's begin. Adding cryptocurrencies to the platform allows users to identify, backtest, and research new ideas, insights, and strategies. Additionally, users will have the opportunity to hedge pre-existing positions by investing in cryptocurrency. So that's it. So now you see a more broader people and a more broader range of techniques and strategies entering the crypto space. We already know when we have a big firm such as hedge funds and big Wall Street institutional firms entering the crypto space, and now they are trading that particular assets. So we already know that they have the power and the technology, and they have algorithm strategies, quants, trading, desk, and stuff like that. So there's no surprise in here. So now you see more and more of those kind of people, strategies, and firms with that kind of approach to trading entering the crypto space. Okay, so that's it. Next, let's move on. Another article over here. We're back at www.cryptocoinsnews.com, and over here that particular article was very interesting, so I'm glad to be able to share that with you guys over here. So what the article is telling us: tech sector called Amazon a bubble since 1997, and now Bitcoin sees the same trend. You see everybody, all the CEOs, major people, in head of governments and stuff like that, all calling the crypto great bubble. Bitcoin is a bubble. So here we are, and remember that back then, for historical background, Amazon was called exactly the same thing. Amazon also was. People thought back then that Amazon was a bubble, but you see Amazon today. So remember that we are we are seeing the exact same patterns. You see, the cryptos are following almost to the teeth what we saw in the late 90s, early 20s, or the 2000s with the internet and all the companies. Okay, so over here, let's read. Since 1997, For more than 20 years, the technology sector and so-called analysts have described Amazon, the $474 billion electronic commerce and cloud computing company, as a bubble. Analysts in the finance sector have treated Bitcoin in a similar way since its launch in 2009. So here we are. You see over here we have a background with people bashing Amazon, Amazon.com and stuff like that. Amazon is toast, the Walmart of the web. Is Amazon stocks bubble or bursting? And now you see in 2017, but you see Jeff Bezos being one of the richest person in the world, and you see Amazon becoming that huge, that great behemoth, and so that's it. So it seems to me that companies like Amazon is going nowhere, and also the cryptos are going nowhere, but we have a lot of them. So now we're gonna see who's the top 5, who are the top 10 best of them that are gonna survive, because none of those cryptos can make it, you see. So at the end of the day, we're gonna have to choose, and the most popular and the most utility of them, you see, in terms of utility, those are going to be the cryptos that we're going to use in a day-by-day basis in our future. Okay, so that's it. And let's read a little bit more over here. As Adventure.es CEO Brent Bishop revealed, for more than 2 decades, analysts and investors in the finance and technology sectors have called Amazon a bubble and criticized the company's business model. Today, Amazon is the largest electronic commerce conglomerate ahead of Alibaba, the Chinese e-commerce giant, and has also been competing in the traditional retail sector against Walmart through the acquisition of Whole Foods earlier this year. So that's it for the article, and you already know tech sector called a bubble, and now you see the similarities between the tech sector back then and now the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. Everybody's talking about a bubble, and when that bubble's gonna burst, you see the Jimmy Demons and stuff like that. Bitcoin is a fraud, Bitcoin is this, is that. So that's it. Here we are, but remember, we can still, and you can still trade the cryptos, and you can still make money. Okay, so that's it. You already know that me, I'm trading in CFDs, because me, I'm based over here in Europe. So we take advantage of that. There's volatility, but volatility is great. You see now I have just a short history. I have a lot of clients and people over here. We used to trade Forex, used to trade stocks, you know. But since then, with low volatility, you know, move of $4 to $5 in a month or stuff like that. So we have to wait an entire month to see a big movement. So also we have the advantages, the advantage of being able to trade indices with a lot of leverage, sometimes hundreds to 1 leverage. Indices like you know, the Nasdaq 100, S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, excuse me, S&P 500, the Dow Jones, Russell, and stuff like that. But when it comes to cryptos, and especially the Bitcoin, we saw huge moves, huge moves. So I have a lot of my clients, a lot of the people, the traders that I know, they're moving, they're switching their entire portfolio, speculative portfolio, and they now becoming more of a crypto traders due to the huge moves we see with Bitcoin, for instance. So that's very interesting, and that's great for us, because you know, our bread for us traders is volatility. When you have volatility like that, you can be up like $1,000 and then have a great correction and take advantage of that correction, and you see price falling by $400 and $500. So that's great. Okay, so now let's move on to the next article. And over here, what do we have? We are back at www.cryptocoinsnews.com. And over here, we have another banker, another CEO. That's the CEO of Royal Bank of Canada. And take a look at that. Bitcoin is no fraud, but there are real concerns. So, opposite side of his peer, Mr. Jimmy Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase. And now let's read. The Royal Bank of Canada's CEO has said that he would never call Bitcoin a fraud, but he admits he does have real concerns about the currency. So banker David McKee said, and we quote him, "I would never call it a fraud because it's not misrepresenting what it is. People have placed value on what it is in different ways and they're fine to do that. But it's not fraudulent in its misrepresentation." So now let's read a little bit of another comment over here. This is compared to Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, who called Bitcoin a fraud last month. Since then, the banker has come out against Bitcoin, saying it's worth nothing and that Bitcoin investors will pay the price. According to Dimon, even if Bitcoin was trading at 100,000 US dollar, its price will eventually crash. Yet, while McKee doesn't label the cryptocurrency a fraud, he does have concerns about it. Okay, so let's see what he had about that. Let's just end with his quotes. Second quote, let's read. "There are so many elements of a Bitcoin that don't convene to our current perspective on what a unit of currency should do. There are some real concerns about how the Bitcoin is being used that we have to resolve." And another quote from him, "Today, people expect money to move at the speed of the internet. That's why we're working with the star banks to address the need for faster cross-border payments." Okay, so mainly that's it. Those are his thoughts and his what he's thinking about when it comes to Bitcoin. Okay, so now let's move on and let's have a look at another article over here, still at CryptoCoinsNews.com. And now let's talk about ICOs and that's, as the article says, a $3 billion US initial coin offering fundraising. It's another milestone. So you see ICOs are huge. You have ICO this, ICO that. Everybody is talking about ICO. So let's put that in perspective a little bit more. So let's dive in a little bit more right into it, okay? Initial coin offering, also known as ICOs, fundraising crossed another significant milestone this month, racing past the $3 billion US mark for the year, despite increased attention from regulatory agencies across the world. Remember, China, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, and India, and anywhere else. Okay, initial coin offering fundraising tops $3 billion US. Initial coin offerings have come a long way since 2013, when junior J.R. Wallets raised $500,000 to develop Omni, then known as Mastercoin. According to data obtained from CoinSchedule, there have now been more than 200 ICOs held during 2017 alone. Those initial coin offerings have raised a combined $3 billion US, with more than 800 million US of that coming from ICOs concluded in September alone. So that's huge. You see over here the graph, cryptocurrency ICO stat in 2017. You see since January, since the beginning of the year, and you see that huge increase, and you see over here great spike, and now we are moving a little bit lower, but you see, and over here at the right hand side, you have the 10 biggest top 10 ICOs of 2017 and the total amount of US dollar raised and total number of 202 ICOs. So that's huge, you see. So that's a new way to do fundraising, and that's huge. So you need to keep an eye on that and learn more about ICOs. Okay, you should. So that's what I'm doing right now, and you should too. Okay, so now let's move on and let's see. Still in the ICO space, you see over here ICOs raising hitting a new milestone, more than $3 billion US. But now back in Japan, what do we have? We have ICO ban in Japan, the finite possibility. So now what do we have? What do we have over here? So Japan is a powerhouse in the cryptocurrency market, you know, now since China has stepped down a little bit. So we have Japan becoming the cryptocurrency hub. Okay, trading about 63% of world's Bitcoin. However, ban of initial coin offering ICO by some Asian countries as investors worried that Japan could follow suit. Okay, so that's it. ICOs are the new radical form of crowdfunding, as we saw earlier in the previous article. Companies are raising funds in the form of cryptocurrency through selling crypto tokens to investors. ICOs are now a go-to method for many companies as it allows investors to benefit more directly from new technologies as opposed to traditional stock. Japan, which now recognizes Bitcoins as legal tender, is one of the biggest champions of cryptocurrencies. Japan's fundamentally different approach to cryptocurrencies positions it as the much-needed savior for ICOs. According to Kagayaki Kawabata, CoinCheck's head of international business development, requests to list tokens on its exchange increased after China's ban. So you see they are benefiting from the China's ban on ICOs, and now let's say we can say that all the movements in that crowdfunding and fundraising strategy, you see when we are doing that with ICOs, but now is all the volume and all that what can I say, what is the correct word, that particular activity now is held in Japan. Okay, so now let's move on and let's see now someone very known in the finance and investment world, Prince Al-Walid from Saudi Arabia. And now you see Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, Bitcoin will implode one day. He compared that to the Enron. So let's see, now we are at cnbc.com, and Prince Al-Walid says Bitcoin will implode, Enron in the making. Remember, for those of you who remember that great crash of that huge and famous now infamous company Enron when it imploded, but for him, for the Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, so now Bitcoin is exactly the same. It's following the footsteps of Enron in the making. So we're gonna see Bitcoin implode. So let's quote him over here. It just doesn't make sense. This thing is not regulated. It's not under control. It's not under the supervision of any central bank, Al-Walid says. But despite that, Bitcoin has surged about more than 500% this year. So now let's read a little bit more. Saudi billionaire investor Prince Al-Walid bin Talal said Monday that Bitcoin will implode one day. And we quote him. It just doesn't make sense. This thing is not regulated. It's not under control. It's not under the supervision of any central bank. Al-Walid said in an interview on CNBC's Quack Box. I just don't believe in this Bitcoin thing. I think it's just going to implode one day. I think this is Enron in the making, Al-Walid said. Next, the billionaire investor was referring to the massive accounting fraud that took Enron, a U.S. energy trading and utilities giant, into bankruptcy in late 2001. Al-Walid runs Kingdom Holding, a massive conglomerate whose investment includes Citigroup, Apple, and Twitter, and the company is based in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And here in the picture we have Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal himself during the interview. I saw the interview. If you take a look in YouTube, you can go to the Bloomberg page and you're gonna have the entire interview. Okay. So that's it. I'm gonna do something much better. I'm gonna include a link to the entire interview here in the video description box, so you guys don't have to go anywhere and check for it, because I got it in my historial. Okay, I got it in playlist. Okay, so that's it. Next, let's move on. And what do we have over here? Another news by Bittrex. World's third largest exchange will not list Bitcoin Gold's trading. So you already know that now we have Bitcoin Gold, and next in November, in a few weeks, we're gonna have the SegWit 2X. So now we have another coin, and let's see what are the main reason for them to not list that Bitcoin Gold. Okay, so over here, let's read, and we're just gonna focus on the first part. Okay. Bittrex, the world's third largest cryptocurrency exchange by trading volume behind Bitfinex and BitHub, officially announced that it will not list Bitcoin Gold, BCG, trading upon its hard fork in November. Bittrex concerned with the Bitcoin Gold code base. On Sunday, October the 22nd, the Bittrex team released a statement on Bitcoin Gold and emphasized that the Bittrex development team will not be integrating Bitcoin Gold trading due to its lack of code testing, auditing, and replay protection. Bittrex stated, and we quote, "At this time, the information and code base presented by the Bitcoin Gold team is not in a functional state, and Bittrex will not commit to opening a Bitcoin Gold trading market. When considering adding tokens to Bittrex exchange, we look at the risks involved. Bitcoin Gold does not satisfy our criteria for safety for users." So that's it for them. It's just a lack of development and protection for the that particular token, that Bitcoin Gold trading. So they will not list Bitcoin Gold for trading. So that's it. So I'll leave that at your own discretion. If you want to learn more, do your own research. You have me. I just provided you with the basic of that. Now, everybody knows that particular person, Mr. Jordan Belfort. So let's see now what are his thoughts about ICOs. Wolf of Wall Street, Mr. Jordan Belfort's ICOs are the biggest scam ever. So it's quite whatever. Okay. In here we are still at CryptoCurrencyNews.com, and now let's read the first part and let's see if we have a statement. Yes, we have a statement. So let's see here. Okay, let's read it. Former Wall Street stockbroker fraudster Jordan Belfort has dismissed ICOs, or initial coin offerings, as the biggest scam ever. A radical new form of fundraising. ICOs are essentially the sale of cryptographic tokens as by startups in exchange for financing via cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether to fund early stage startup development. Okay, you already know that by now. Earlier in September, decentralized storage project Filecoin raised $257 million US, an ICO record. According to one tracker, ICO fundraising in 2017 has topped $3 billion so far. So we already saw that. No, so now you know. And let's continue. Jordan Belfort, a former Wall Street penny stock broker who pled guilty to stock market fraud, has gave his opinion that the current craze surrounding ICOs is going to end in a way that will blow up in people's faces. Okay, so speaking to Financial Times, he stated, and we're gonna read it, is the biggest scam ever, such a huge, gigantic scam that's going to blow up in so many people's faces. It's far worse than anything I was ever doing. Oh, so that's a pretty a strong statement, and so I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay, so now if you want to follow and continue the reading, so you know I'm gonna add that particular link in the video description box right below the video here on YouTube. Okay, now let's continue. And here, remember, we saw what the great big bankers and are thinking about Bitcoin, and now another one we have over here in the picture, that's the CEO of Mastercard. And let's see over here. Non-government cryptocurrency is junk, says Mastercard CEO in attacking Bitcoin. So now let's read the first part and let's see if we have a statement by these gentlemen. Yeah, okay. We have a statement, so let's focus over here. Mastercard's president and CEO Ajay Banga has broadly dismissed all non-governmental cryptocurrencies as junk in a media interview. Mastercard, the world's second largest payments company after Visa, was asked about the potential for disruption brought on by digital currencies. Powered by decentralized blockchain technology, the innovation presents a threat to the very business model of a singular operator of global payment rails like Mastercard. In an interview with the Economic Times, the Mastercard executive revealed the company would be receptive to a digital currency if it is developed and mandated by a government. Unsurprisingly, Banga was sketching in his attack on state-agnostic cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, stating, and we're gonna see, if the government creates digital currency, we will find a way to be in the game. We will provide wheels for moving currency from customer to merchant. The government mandated digital currencies are interesting. Non-government mandated currencies is junk. Banga went on to attack Bitcoin with the oft-heard rhetoric of volatility and its use or abuse. In ransomware payments, to him, China's crackdown on the cryptocurrency industry only adds to his arguments against Bitcoin. And he stated, I'm going to quote him, if I pay for a bottle of water in Bitcoin, one day it is 2 bottles for a Bitcoin, the other day is 9,000 bottles. This does not work. Any currency needs stability and transparency. Otherwise, you will get the illegal activities in the world. Why was the ransom for the virus WannaCry ransomware collected in Bitcoin? Question mark. Why has China cracked down on Bitcoin? Another question mark. Okay, and here let's I find that's pretty interesting, so we're gonna do a little bit more. Okay, Banga's comments joined the recent criticism leveled against Bitcoin from Wall Street bankers and other figures of the traditional banking and financial industry. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon labeled Bitcoin as a fraud. You already know that in a much publicized rant last month. UBS chairman and former Bundesbank president Axel Weber even admitted that his skepticism of Bitcoin probably comes from my background as a central banker, when he claimed Bitcoin does not fulfill the functions of a currency. A year ago, Mastercard's president for Operation and Technology, Rob Rigg, revealed that the company is invested in blockchain technology but not Bitcoin. So you see, their interest is fully with the technology, the blockchain technology, with the underlying technology behind the Bitcoin. And that statement, it is an interesting technology and we are working on it. I personally don't care about Bitcoin, as Jimmy Dimon said, but I do care about blockchain technology, as all the Wall Street bankers and bankers all around the world are saying right now. So they're very pretty much interesting in the underlying technology with the blockchain. So allow me to drink a little bit, excuse me. Okay, a little bit of water, and now let's continue. And now let's remain with countries, governments, regulations, central bankers, and now another article over here with regulation. What do we have? Bank of Korea criticized does not recognize Bitcoin as currency. So here we're gonna read and we're gonna follow a little bit that particular article, because that's very interesting. Because you know that all the volume, huge volume in cryptocurrencies and in Bitcoin trading is taking place in Asia. Between, you see, South Korea, Japan, places like Hong Kong and Singapore. And in South Korea, you see we have a huge volume for Ripple and stuff like that. And now let's see, because that's pretty interesting what is taking place over there. Okay, a parliamentary audit of the Bank of Korea revealed that it has done poor research on digital currencies, including Bitcoin and Ether. The central bank's governor told lawmakers that digital currency is not currency and promised to conduct more research on this topic. So now, Bank of Korea governor, Bitcoin is not a currency. That's the big line, okay? So the National Assembly of the Republic of Korea conducted a parliamentary audit of the Bank of Korea, BOK, on Monday. During the hearing, the bank's governor, Lee Ju-yeol, told lawmakers that it cannot recognize digital currencies, including Bitcoin, as currency, according to local publications. You see here on the picture, that's Mr. the Governor Lee Ju-yeol, and let's quote him. "It is possible to see virtual money as currency?" Question mark. Lee was asked, he responded, "It is difficult to look at the example of the International Settlement Banks, the BIS, in terms of money." Yunhap News reported regarding the need to regulate digital currency. He said, and we quote him, "Regulation is appropriate for it because it is regarded as a commodity." You see, sometimes you're going to see Bitcoin being listed as a commodity. I think in Abu Dhabi now they have a regulation for cryptocurrencies and ICOs, but you see the cryptos are Bitcoin. That's the most popular, obviously, is listed as a commodity. You see, so in other words, is not a currency. But you see in major pages, when we're gonna have a look at Forex, at currency markets, we're gonna see Bitcoin listed alongside of other currency pairs like Euro dollar. You're gonna have Bitcoin dollar. Even saw Ethereum versus the US dollar. So that's it. And he stated here that because it is regarded as a commodity, it is not a regulation at the level of money. It is not a situation for the Bank of Korea to take action at present. Okay, so we're gonna leave it here, and that's it. You can continue the reading at your own discretion. Remember that news comes from news.bitcoin.com, and I'm gonna add this particular link in the video description box below. And now we have 3 more article to go, and let's stay in Asia. And over here we're talking about rivalry between 2 countries. Traditional rivals Singapore and Hong Kong unite on blockchain and FinTech. So that's pretty interesting. Let's see. Let's read now. And here, I think that we're gonna do the first part because it's pretty interesting. The central banks and financial regulators of Singapore and Hong Kong have inked a cooperation agreement to strengthen fintech ties and work on a blockchain trade finance project. In a joint announcement today, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the MAS, and the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, the 2 cities' central banks signed a fintech cooperation agreement aimed at bolstering fintech ties and furthering fintech development in Southeast Asia. Let's continue. The partnership is particularly notable due to their geographical proximity and common technology-forward ideologies that has routinely pitted the 2 cities as traditional rivals. Both cities are global hubs for trade, finance, and travelers. Lately, however, there has been a shift from aggressive competition to cooperation, particularly in the financial sector. Let's quote, "Traditionally, as a financial center, there's that comparison between Singapore and Hong Kong," stated Roy Teo, head of MAS Financial Centre Development Department, in reference to the rivalry. "But when it comes to fintech, this is where we recognize that there's a lot of need for collaboration between the regulators." Okay, and now let's finish with that particular section over here. The first collaboration will see the 2 financial authorities work on a cross-border trade finance initiative powered by blockchain technology. Once again, the underlying technology beyond the cryptos, beyond Bitcoin, and in that particular case, that the blockchain, and the blockchain. Details of the project are currently scarce, but could prove a significant undertaking between 2 major trade hubs. Joint innovation project aside, the 2 monetary authorities will also refer local innovative businesses and startups to each other, exchange expertise, and share information to further fintech developments in each other's markets. Okay, so let's leave it there, and now let's continue. And let's stay in Singapore, and over here what do we have? Another article, still at, as you can see, www.cryptocoinsnews.com, And now Bitcoin poses no risk to warrant regulation. Singapore Central Bank Chief. Okay, so now let's read the first section with a quote over here. Singapore has no plans of regulating cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and the central bank will keep an open mind, the authorities chief has revealed. Remember what we saw in the previous article, still talking about the MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore. MAS, the country's central bank and financial regulator, will not regulate cryptocurrency, but will expect intermediaries to implement anti-money laundering controls, according to MAS Managing Director Ravi Menon. Speaking in an interview with Bloomberg, the central banker was asked if cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin require regulation, if Singapore became hotbed for ICOs, a popular new form of fundraising enabled by cryptocurrencies. In response, Menon said, quote, very few jurisdictions regulate cryptocurrencies, and of course, before revealing the authorities' take on exerting control, if any. And he stated, we've taken the approach that the currency itself does not pose the risk that warrants regulation. Our approach is to look at the activity around the cryptocurrency and then make an assessment of what regulation would be suitable. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna leave it there, and now let's see the last article that I have prepared for you. And we are back at news.bitcoin.com, and here we are going to Russia. And see, let's just focus here on the first part. And Russia's President Vladimir Putin has issued orders pertaining to the regulation of cryptocurrencies. Initial coin offerings, ICOs, you see once again the ICOs, that's a pretty big concern over there and everywhere in the world. And cryptocurrency mining. It wants changes made to the Russian legislation to regulate cryptocurrencies and tokens. Mining operation will also be registered and taxed. Aha, that's the first one. The Prime Minister and the central bank governor will be responsible for completing the orders by July next year. So that's by July of 2018. Putin orders. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has officially issued 5 orders concerning the use of digital technologies in the country's financial sector. According to the Kremlin's website, he put the Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev and the central bank governor Elvira Nabiullina in charge of completing these orders. 3 of them are directly related to cryptocurrencies and ICOs to be completed by July the 1st of 2018. Okay, so that's huge. And the big part are the legal status of free cryptocurrency. And also we have the mining, registry, and taxation. And what else? We have regulating ICOs. And what else do we have? So that's it. So that's the 3 major parts. So that's pretty and very interesting. So we're gonna leave it there. And now let's go to the second segment. And now let's have a look at the ranking, the at worldcoinindex.com. And over here, as you can see, we're going to focus on the top 10. Number 1, we have Bitcoin, ticker symbol BTC. Now we see trading at $5,526. And you see market cap, now we are below 100 billion, back at 92 billion market cap. That's the same market cap as company as Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, Netflix, and in the range, playing in the range of the Goldman Sachs and stuff like that. Okay, so that's huge. Okay, you see spike, and we were above the 6,000, and now we are trading below. Okay, but for today we are up. Number 2, Ethereum, ticker symbol ETH, in sideways movement, and now close to 30 billion in market cap. Number 3, Litecoin, ticker symbol LTC, down today, sideways movement, just south of 3 billion US dollar. Number 4, Bitcoin Cash, ticker symbol BCH. Now you see sideways movements, nothing with that. You see, remember at the launch of Bitcoin Cash, we saw the prices rising and touching the $1,000, and since then prices are are going nowhere. Market cap 5.4 billion. Number 5, Ripple, ticker symbol XRP. Sideways movements, and now we are going down, and 7.6 billion US dollar. Number 6, Stellar Lumens XLM. I didn't know about that cryptocurrency, but market cap below $1 billion. Number 7, Monero XMR, trading at $90, going sideways for the week, and 1.3 billion US dollar. Number 8, Zcash ZEC, going sideways, but even in a down, we are downtrending over here. Market cap of $500 million. Number 9, NEO NEO, going up but down for today, and 1.4 billion dollars. And number 10, Dash DASH, excuse me, and down for today. Market cap 2.2 billion US dollars. Okay, so that's it. Now let's move on and let's have a look over here at the cryptocurrency map, cryptomaps.org. Over here you see the total market capitalization for all the cryptos and the volume is being traded in the last 24 hours. And here in the map you can see all of them. So you see today Bitcoin going down, Bitcoin Cash going down, everything is in red. You see Ripple down, Ethereum down, Yoda down, Neo down, here that Bitconnect down, Omisego down, Quantum down, Litecoin down, that's NAM down, Dash down. So everything is in red for the crypto space. All of them are going down today. Okay, so that's it. And now let's do some technical analysis and let's finish with that. So I'm gonna I'm gonna reset and reload the page. And now I'm gonna load my presets. Okay, over here. Okay. Take a minute, so please bear with me. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at Apple because I was trading Apple. But here we are in the crypto space. So first let's begin with Bitcoin and Bitcoin. Let's zoom in a little bit to amplify and see what's taking place over here. Okay, that's it. So we can see that. You see that we are uptrending. You see the channel over here. That's your support. That's your channel's uptrend resistance over here. You see resistance, supports, resistance, supports, and resistance. Now it seems to me that we are heading towards the support. We have two major options. First probability, that's the 5100s, and second one, retest of the previous resistance, now support, that's in between of the 8 weeks moving average and the 13 weeks moving average, back at $4,500. Okay, so that's it. So you see, when we are uptrending, we are still bullish on the Bitcoin, but you do know that we are going by A, B, C, Ds, because people are taking profits, you see, along the way. What we call correction is in fact the distributions. That's just people taking benefits, people taking profits. So we're gonna see the price correcting themselves. You see, for those of you who use Fibonacci, you see that over here, that the region, that particular region over here, pivot points, the last resistance over here, supports that in relation with Fibonacci, that's maybe just like that, a 50% retracement. So that's it. Okay, and next you take that same, you see, from A to B, you take that C to the D, and that projection gives you the other projection. You see me, I was projecting $6,200, as you see over here, boom, that was it. And now we're going back, and I'm looking at two levels, 5,000 US dollars, and next over here 4,400. That's it. And if you're gonna bounce from there and then here, that's gonna be a great time and a great opportunity to buy cryptos very low. But you see, we're gonna have like a 2 bars. You see over here, 2 down bars. So maybe the next one's gonna be huge if we have a major news that's gonna impact the price fluctuation, and a great news, a great catalyst that's gonna take us down. So maybe let's see what's gonna happen by the beginning of November. You see, we have 1 week left, and then we're gonna be trading in November. So for the moment, I'm still bullish in the long run, but you see, due to the huge volatility, we can take advantage of that correction of that distribution. So below, let's say 5200, I'm gonna put I'm gonna take advantage of that and sell a short position over here. I'm gonna entering a short position and trying to benefit and capitalize towards $5,000 and $4,500. Okay, so that's it. Because you need interaction with moving averages. That's your 4 weeks moving average. Over here, 8 weeks moving average. Take a look at that. That's volatility. If we have a close below that 4 weeks moving average, boom, we're gonna go much lower. And also below the 50% of that great bullish candle, excuse me, over here. So we can go much lower and reach the 13 weeks moving average, bounce from here, and here I'm gonna be waiting for a confirmation of a buy signal, and then buy here at support to go back and make a new all-time high at the channel's resistance. Okay, so that's it for Bitcoin now. Take advantage of a quick short position and then going back to the long side. Okay, so that's it. That's what I do. That's what we do when we are trading, when we are speculators. We take advantage of prices fluctuations with no sentiment. We just run and we have to do great and good trades, great operations. That's it, with a lot of risk management, and have at any time the risk under control. And you see over here, GBTC is doing nothing. The price is not matching the price of the underlying assets, and in this particular case it's supposed to track the Bitcoin prices, but you see nothing over here. We are flat sideways movement, inside week candle for 1, 2, 3, 4, a month and a half, maybe, yeah, close to 2 months. So that's doing nothing. We see huge convergence between 2 majors moving averages, the 4, the 8, and the 13 week moving average. If we have a close below, boom, that's a pointer. So here we're gonna go back to the previous resistance over here. You see we have a gap over here, and boom, yeah, we can fall towards the $500. Okay, if we see another weekly bar, bearish weekly bar with the Bitcoin. So remember, here we are supposed to track the Bitcoin price, and maybe we can go lower, because I didn't see when Bitcoin was trading at above $6,000. We didn't see that over here reflected here with the GBTC. So I'm staying away from GBTC. We don't have the GBTC ETF over here listed in our CFD's brokerage account, so we don't trade that over here for the moment. Okay, so that's it. GBTC, nothing. Now let's have a look at Bitcoin Cash versus the US dollar. Okay, Bitcoin Cash versus the US dollar, and let's stay with a now let's go to a daily chart, because we're gonna have a little bit more of data, so it's gonna be more interesting and to talk about things over here. Okay, so you see over here, that's our low at 195 US dollars. You see the top over here, close at 750, top above 950, close to 1,000 US dollars, and since then going lower. That's a triangle, a descendant triangle formation. You see the trend line over here acting as a strong resistance here. Prices rejected below that, rejected another time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time, and now we are here. So here, what can we expect? You can expect, one, what can we do over here? That's a strong base. You see also that's playing the role of a multiple bottom over here. But if we have a close below that particular level, a close below $300, so we're gonna fall towards $100. Okay, and if we have another bullish candle above those levels, so that's your 52 days moving average over here, so maybe we can go back towards 400, and we need a close above 400 to be even considering Bitcoin Cash in a bullish sentiment, in a bullish momentum. But for the moment we're going nowhere, no volume, no nothing, and I'm pretty bearish on Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so that's it. Now let's move on. Excuse me. Let's move on over here and let's go back, and what can we see? Let's see if Bitcoin Gold is listed over here. Let's see if we're going to have some data. So that's BCJ, I think, the ticker symbol for Bitcoin Gold. Let's see if we have Bitcoin Gold versus the US. No, for the moment we don't have that, so sorry. Okay, nothing. Let's move on, and now let's have a look at Ethereum. Let's see where Ethereum is trading. Yeah, okay, still in a weekly charts over here, as you can see. Remember, I'm taking advantage of weekly positions because there's less noise, and the patterns are more defined and it's more clear. That's also less information to process, so that's even better. As you can see over here, remember, that's a bullish flag. We are still uptrending. You see lower highs over here, but you see multiple top over here, so strong resistance, as you can see. So that's a great A, B, C, and then the D. But you see distribution correction and accumulation phase, boom, going back towards resistance, rejected the resistance. Now we are back over here, but you see a low pivot point and another lower high, so we're still uptrending. That's a uptrending triangle over here, an ascendance triangle over here. And now you see we're trying to break above 350, but we rejected those levels. And now we see over here that's a bearish outside candle, a bearish rejection candle, trying to go lower. But over here we have all the majors moving averages. That's your 4, your 8-week and your 13-week in red moving averages. Over here in blue, dark blue, we have your 21 weeks moving average, and that's your 26 weeks moving average over here in black. So what does it mean? That means that maybe we can reach the 250 region. You see also that coincides with that particular level over here, but bounce from there and then going up. If we have a close below that particular level, take a look at that. So we can go even, we can reach the 200 and 175 US dollars. Okay, so that's it for the moment. Sideways movement and maybe a potential we can go much lower for the week. Okay, at this point of the week. Okay, so now let's move on, and now let's focus on something else, another crypto. Now let's do Dash versus the US dollar. And over here, yes, I have Dash. Here we go. Okay, that's Dash now. And Dash, as you can see, we are uptrending over here. You see exactly the same pattern as of Ethereum. You see a bullish flag over here, ascending triangle, but that's just a triangle over here. We break below that triangle. You see that particular bearish candle act as a pointer. We have a pointer below the 13 weeks moving average here in red. Here we have the trying to form our 21 weeks moving average. You see a close below that particular trend line acting as a support. Also the 13 weeks moving average acting as a support. You see over here a convergence points between the 4 weeks moving average and 13 weeks moving average at just 50% of that bearish candle over here at 290, and now we are going below, but we have a like a stop. You see over here a bottom. I think that we bottomed over here and we rejected the 21 weeks moving average, so now we can have a bottom and another triangle forming over here. That's a descendants triangle, and if we bottom at 270, 275, and also we are in an inside week candle for the moment. Let's see this week is gonna at the end of the week where we're gonna trade, and then we're gonna take action and take eventual positions with great probability, with success probability for next week. Maybe buy above 320 and sell below to 75 and stuff like that. Okay, but for the moment we are going nowhere. That's sideways movements. Now let's move on, and now let's have a look at Litecoin LTC versus the US dollar. Okay, Litecoin, where are we? Litecoin, here we are. Okay, so that's Litecoin over here. And Litecoin now, what can we expect for Litecoin? Just bear with me, please. No, it's going nowhere. LTC, this one is taking longer. Okay, let's see here, GDAX, if we have data. Okay, that's it. With GDAX we have something over here. You see now inside week candle for the second week in a row. We're going nowhere. Oh, what was that? You know, I just got hacked, you see. Okay, this one. Let's see what's happening here. Do I have something? Litecoin, what's going on? I have no signal, no nothing. LTC, Litecoin. Always something happening over here. Let's see if I have but over here, I'm with Polionex. So now here what we can see, that particular bullish candle over here, you see inside week candle 1-2 weeks, we're still going nowhere, you see, but we are going down. That's your 21 weeks moving average. So below $50 we can go down. Over here you see that's our supports over here. That's a pointer, maybe a potential support at 35. But remember, the inside week candle over here and another inside week candle. So you see we're going nowhere, but you see that another inside week candle, but you see the potential is towards the upside, but we are trading in the lower half of that particular bullish candle. So we remain bearish over here. But you see that's a huge accumulation phase, but that's in the upper side, you see upper mid side of that particular bullish candle. But here we are in the lower mid side, you see mid section of that particular bullish candle. So that for me is it's very bearish. So let's see if you can go and trade lower. Also, that's a descending triangle, and that's our bottom. If you have a close below 950, so that's bearish. Okay, now let's move on and let's do IOTA versus the US dollar. Okay, here we go with no problem over here. So you see uptrending over here, 3 weeks in a row to the upside, 1 month to the downside. That's our supports over here, and boom, you see close below that. Here you have the 4 weeks moving average, 1 week, 2 weeks, boom. It seems to me that we have found a bottom. You see the pointers over here, that was our tweezer bottom, but you see the pointers, and we are at that level, 37 cents of the dollar. Okay, so that's it. And now we have a kind of bullish rejection trying to interact with the 4 weeks moving average and 8 weeks moving average. Rejection, more than 50% of the gains. We gave back all those gains. You see over here, that's your 13-week moving average, and we are still down. So now expect more sideways movement, exactly the same thing that we saw here. That's the exact same pattern repeating itself. So expect sideways movement, and maybe next week we're going to push higher to interact and trying to find a close above the 4 weeks and 8 weeks moving average, and trying to interact with the 13 weeks moving average. So we are in, let's say, an accumulation phase over here. Now next, let's move on. Let's do Ripple XRP. Yes, Ripple versus the US dollar over here. Okay, Ripple versus the US dollar over here. And what can we see? Ripple versus the US dollar over here. Remember, last week we talked about a lot of great news: Bill Gates Foundation, South Korea, the Swell conference in Toronto with Ben Bernanke and other big bankers and Wall Street firms and financial sector firms and companies and stuff like that, FinTech and all the good stuff. But you see, traders disappointed. No bullish sentiment, no bullish movement. You see over here, we are uptrending, support, resistance, support, resistance, support. Maybe we can bounce from here and going back to China's resistance to make another high, but we're still bullish for just one simple reason: low, lower high, another lower high. Now, point of convergence with all the moving averages 4, 8, and 13 and 21. And expect sideways movement. You see, we rejected lower prices. Now we're back at point 19, point 20. So expect sideways movements and then confirmation to go much higher. That's exactly the same pattern. So now I'm expecting that type of pattern here with Ripple. And also remember, I told you that we are doing a cup and handle pattern. You see, like this and like that, and that's pretty bullish. Okay, so now we are doing our A, B, tan, tan. You see, like that. That's A, that's B, that's C, that's D. And now we are doing another A, B, C, going back here, and boom. You see, we are still uptrending. That's A, that's a B, that's a C, and now trying to get a D. So we're trying to get back towards that particular level over here. That's your 30, above 30 cents, 32, 34 cents. Okay, so that's it, people. Thank you very much, and that's it for today. And you know, you can find me at www.jctrim.com/solution in English. You going to my website, you see the English flag for your English speaking people, and then you're going to be directly to the English speaking section. This particular video is going to be here. That's our cryptocurrency time to trade, the midweek report, time to trade the cryptos. You know that every Sunday night or Monday, but depend on where you are. Me, I'm based in Europe, so try to post that before your market open over there in the US, so before market opening on Monday. So you have the time to trade the markets, the weekly reports, the week ahead and perspectives. And also you can check out what I'm doing over here. You know that I'm an introducer broker. I'm also an agent of Swiss brokers, dealers in precious metals, gold and silver, and all the platinums. You see, palladium, platinum, rhodium, and stuff like that. So do collaboration with the House of the Gusa here in Madrid, Spain, and also other great companies in Switzerland. So please check it out. And if you have any questions on stuff like that, you see over here you have all my other people I'm doing business with. And here I'm not full disclosure, I'm not doing business with Wirex, but I'm using Wirex. So that's it for wallets and debit cards, prepaid debit card for my Bitcoin holdings and stuff like that, Bitcoin and Ethereum holdings. So that's it. So over here we have the messaging box, so you can message me, and over here you have a number for number. That's a mobile phone for WhatsApp and Viber, Messenger, and stuff like that. So it's pretty much easy. You can text me, and I'm gonna text you back when I got my time. But I try to respond to all my customers in less than 24 hours. So that's business. So you know you need to be there for business, and for a lot of people, it's more convenient to reach and be contacting people with those methods. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there, and once again, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Yeah, we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm gonna see you on Sunday or Monday morning for my time to trade the markets, the week ahead and perspectives. Okay, so thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye bye.